Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Oakfield Farm, where today we are going to be doing some forestry. As you can see, got myself a wood chipper. I was gonna basically bought the biggest one I could afford, and it was in fact the one that I prefer, which is the Yens. So we're going to head over to the forest, which bizarrely means going through field 24. I think. I need to find my way back over to where I was. Because I know there's an entrance somewhere. Yeah, here's the... Is this the road that I need to follow? No. I've got lost already. Because there's a road from the forest which hits through, is it field? No, I'm completely and utterly lost now. Unless it's a bit farther up the map than in field 20, in fact. Because in field 20 for sure, there's a little cut through here that leads up and over, I believe, to a gate. Oh, it leads directly to the road. Okay. So yes, I was kind of on the right path. I just wasn't far enough up the road. Which, you know, that happens sometimes. That happens. So you're going to use the T7 to pull this because the T7 is one of the stronger tractors I have, and even it's even struggling to deal with the weight that is the Yen's BA75. I already have the New Holland / Fiat / whatever I want to call it this week over in the forest with the dump trailer. And the tractor is just wailing at me. It is not happy about this at all. It'll be a lot happier in a second once I take this turn off. There we go. Now it's able to use the power. It's going to start wailing again in a second, though. And we got a little bit of a drive, because what we got to do is we got to cut alongside of field 20, and then we'll be using this to, I think, cut down by field 19. It's basically just follow the road here, yeah. We're basically following this little path because it'll lead us directly into the forest. Now there is a way in by the main farm, which is kind of convenient. And that's through field 18, which I don't own. But we're not cutting through any fields that we need to drive on, so I don't feel too bad about using this route. You can maybe... Well, you can see the entrance to the forest is just there, and the Fiat is parked up just inside. There it is. We do already have some wood ready to go from when I was testing out the lead pairs, so we can dump that there. Just nudge this forward and turn it off. I need to hop into this thing because of course I do, and get it all set up to go. Unfold the pipe, engine on, chipper on, and I guess it's probably a good idea to just run the Fiat while I'm doing this, because while it might take a little while to do, I don't want to run the risk of something going too screwy. And with the way grab physics work in Farm Sim, I don't trust that the game's going to be very nice to me. However, that is going to the trailer. And also a little bonus is I can have the readout going, so I can see how much wood chips I have created and how full the trailer is. It's already, wow, almost a quarter of the way full. Downside of this is it is very hard to make out where the wood actually is from the okay, you've decided to just ping off into over here. I don't know why that decided to just ping, I'll be honest, but it did. And I have to deal with it. I may need to cut this again. May need to cut this in half, but let's try it the way that it is now. No, it is feeding. And is that all the wood from the... I think I only cut down the one tree. No, there's still a little log bit over here. And is that another log bit? I don't know. There's still another bit here that I can just dump in like that. And it should get stuck, because of course it will. There we go. So, I know I don't do much forestry, but it's something I actually do kind of enjoy doing, while at the same time despising it. You know, the very existence of it in the game. Something I feel like I should do a bit more of. Whoa! If the physics were nicer, I'd really... For a second there, I thought the tree decided to disintegrate. This is, by the way, the downside of me tweaking the crop densities, because it is quite difficult for me to see through the grass. That's not how physics works. Come on. You're entirely on the conveyor belt and basically in the arms. Come on. There we go. I wonder, is it worth trying to get... Just once. Just once. I'd like for me to pick up a log and it not ping off in a random direction. Would that be too much to ask, game? Silly question, of course it would. Okay, let's put you down there. Pick you up. And let's see what happens if I try and load... Oh, that might actually work. Because if I do that, then... It usually helps if I don't just immediately re-grab it. If I'm not glitched into it. There we go. No, that log is a bit too long. It's not triggering correctly. So if I were to cut there... That's going backwards. There we go. And just like throw that bit in. It should catch. Lovely. I've almost got the trailer full already. Just want to let it empty out the remaining bit of wood chips. Wonderful. So I think what I'm going to do, and I know that I'm cheating horrifically by just picking up entire trees, but it makes life easier, so deal with it. Because if I leave the tree down here, then I can just zip along it like this, and cut it up like this, and like this. I do have the sawdust mod enabled, by the way, if you're wondering why there's random patches of wood chips randomly appearing. I probably should bring over the T6 at some point with a front loader to clean this up, but that's not on my list of priorities right now. This might well be the enough to fill the trailer fully. Oh yeah, that's the trailer. 94%. And it's inexplicably stopped loading. Oh, because it's full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the alternate exit to the forestry area here. So before I came down that way the entire way. I'm actually going to go out this way, which leads me through field 18. And you might be wondering where I'm going with these wood chips. There's two places I could go, and I'm going to go to the place that's closest right now, which is from the straw add-on. Easter egg or whatever they want to call it, the bonus bit of content that was inexplicably just hidden on the Creative Mesh website, or the BM modding website, which is me getting stuck in a hedge, or against a gate. No, it is the alternative biomass plant, which I think takes wood chips. Unfortunately, because it is BM modding, I'm just going to skip through this hedge here and come over to it. Because it is BM modding and they're German, I have absolutely no idea what it does actually take. So this is kind of just a random bet with myself that this thing takes wood chips. If it doesn't, it's not actually the end of the world, because I can always get this thing over to the compost master, which can take up to 50,000 litres of material, and just dump it in there. Or I could get a biomass plant proper. This thing is going to be rude and not have a tip trigger, isn't it? This thing is going to be for pellets. And, oh! It takes wood chips. And it's got enough for 9 hours, 35 minutes. And will give me literally some money every hour. That's kind of a good way of selling wood chips, actually. Like, knowing that thing can run for 9, 18, 20, probably like 25 hours when it's full. Doing wood chips or something like that once every in-game day, I think you can run off straw or hay pellets as well. You could basically make quite a lot of money off it, depending on how much you make per hour. I've got stuck, so let's just cheat a small bit and move up the field a bit, because I didn't want to bother trying to get unstuck from there. So progress is being made, at least. So I'm just looking at Facebook. I'm in a conversation with Sim and Landy, and we all had the same idea today. Today's Monday, and the reason I didn't stream is because I wanted to record. The reason Sim didn't stream is because he wanted to record. The reason Landy didn't take the time that we both opened up by not streaming is because he wanted to record. Which is why Landy's stream went off exactly on time, but nobody else streamed. We all had the same idea on the same day. Now, Monday is usually mine and Landy's recording day anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But with me trying to get ahead, and this is definitely me getting ahead, doing today's video, or, yeah, doing today's video this early, is definitely me getting ahead. That is eating the wood, that is phrasing, Dave. That is good, and let's get this tree down. I know I don't, like I said earlier, because I think I said this earlier, I've got a bad memory for things I've said, if you haven't already realised this from like streams or previous videos. I know that I don't usually do forestry, but making wood chips is actually kind of fun. If this was a... Don't go over the hedge. Okay, so I'm going to cheat a bit here. by doing this, and then doing this. Just ignore... What the crap? Tree? You're being weird and ignoring the laws of physics. You know what trees... We know what happens to trees that ignore the laws of physics. I hope this isn't one that's been rescaled, because that might explain the funky weirdness. By the way, if you didn't already know this, if you rescale trees in Farm Sim, the physics start to break down a bit. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling this thing has been rescaled. The physics start to go on a bit of a wonk, because the game doesn't know what to do with trees that are bigger than 100% of their normal size. Which is why on... when I was on Thornton, the trees were going a bit weird and getting embedded in the ground. They were over 100% of the size they should have been. Why are you not eating that? There we go. That was a dumb idea, Dave. That was a less dumb idea, Dave. And the new Hull's already pretty much full. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see 14,000 in a second. Yep. New Holland's full again, which means we get to drive off with the ends at 37% full this time. I do need to be a bit cautious with how full I'm making the wood chipper. Because if it goes to 100%, it will keep chipping, but not actually putting anything out. So I could have used the small €19,000 wood chipper as well, by the way. Even for doing trees that size, you just have to cut it down a lot smaller. You basically have to put chunks of firewood in, and I'll show you something that maybe some people don't know when I'm back over at the forest, once I've got this dumped into the magical mystery burner. That seems to be quite profitable if it went almost immediately to €2 an hour. Magic hedge. It's easier. It saves me time, it saves you time, and I want to show something off in a minute, so... It makes sense. It is a logic. Let's get this backed up like that. And let's see what this thing's up to now. €44 an hour. And it's got 19 hours. That's going to be enough for now. I think 19 hours worth of material is enough. €47 now. Oh my god, that thing's going to be ridiculously profitable. If you're wondering, by the way, that why I keep going into third person from first person like that, or how I got the camera to go immediately into first person, it's because I got head tracking enabled in-game. I don't have head tracking enabled outside of the game currently, which is like if I go in camera and start wobbling or if I go in cab and start wobbling the mouse around, it won't do anything. But what head tracking does do is it basically enables a script in the game, I guess, that says, oh, this person has head tracking enabled. It wants to be in cab all the time. Enable in cab by default. Which is nice. I kind of wish that was an optional thing, even without head tracking enabled. Which again, things I'd like to see in FS19. In fact, I'd like to see a better way of selling wood chips like what Creative Mesh did. I know I like ripping on them. But that wood chip sale thing is actually really nice. I like that as an idea where... I know there's a few different mods that do it. Where you basically you fill the wood chipper and the biomass plant, and it works over time as opposed to just magically selling your stuff immediately. And I believe like the amount that you put in is directly proportional to the amount you get out. Or, like the more you put in, the more you get out. So I want to show off something that a lot of people don't seem to know about the game. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a small bit off the end of this tree here. I'm not going to chip it up straight away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just plop it on the ground like that. and I want to... Does it need to be smaller? Yeah, it needs to be even smaller for this to work. So I'm just gonna cut it... Here-ish should be long enough. This little cool little thing you can do to work. Just plop that down over there. And what you can do, that a lot of people don't seem to realise, is you don't necessarily have to cut along the length. You can make, in Farm Sim, firewood with a chainsaw. Now, unfortunately with the sawdust mod, it does create quite a lot of wood chips, so it's maybe a bit of a cheaty way to do it, because you're probably going to get more wood chips out of it. I'm sure I cut it more than that, but apparently I decided that what I didn't cut is magically wood chips now. But you can chop trees up to be very small indeed, so they'll fit into the smallest wood chipper in game. So you can, if you want to, if you're a lunatic, like I probably am, cut trees into increasingly small sizes so that you can bash a T7 with them. So that you can fit it into whatever wood chipper you want, or have, we'll say for a role play, some firewood or something like that. And you can do that stuff in game. It's not something that requires a mod. Which I think is nice. That it is a thing you can do. Is that kind of still going to the trailer, because I did bonk it a couple of times. Well, what I want to do is just lower that a small bit, so it's a bit easier for me to decide whether or not it'll load into the trailer. It's a thing that not a lot of people know you could do. I think you could do it in FS15 too, but it's definitely a 17 function that makes, I think makes Forestry a lot easier. Because you can, you know, throw chunks of wood into a trailer and have, like, if the trailer has a solid back, like a lot of trailers don't, mod trailers especially, you can make firewood and drive around with a trailer load of firewood if you want. It's particularly useful with trees like this, where I think Oxy's... Oh no, this one isn't rescaled. There is, by the way, an easy way of telling if a tree's rescaled. Again, it's something that I don't know if people know. If a tree's been rescaled, let me see if there's something over here that looks like it might have been. These trees look rescaled. Yeah, if a tree's been rescaled, you can see that the marker isn't centered on the tree. That's because the game doesn't quite know what to do. This tree, oh, this tree might have been rescaled and I haven't noticed. I'll be able to tell very quickly. Here. This tree's been rescaled. I just didn't notice. And my stream deck just reset itself. The way that you... Oh, maybe it hasn't. But the way that you tell is you have a look at where the indicators for cutting it are. And like I said earlier, the physics go a bit wonky when trees have been rescaled by map authors. It's something that I know why they do it, but I hate when they do it, and it's probably something I do myself with a map. By the way, I'm coming up to being like 100% certain that Donetsk just... At this point, I'll say about 80% certain Donetsk is just not going to be a thing with FS17. Which means that it'll just be thrown on the abandoned pile forever. That doesn't mean I don't ever intend on bringing a map out, it just means that Donetsk, if it isn't out for 17, because I brought up... Nice twirl! Because I brought it up from 15, because I'm terrible at time management, ooh. I don't want to do a double convert on it, because converting once causes enough problems. And as things stand, myself put up an Oxygendavid, and Landy, and a lot of people seem to be pretty sure that converting maps causes some weird FPS issues that can only be explained by something in the conversion caused this, but we're not sure what. So that's kind of why maps like Cobra and the West Coast are being dumped for FS19. No, go into the chipper. There you go. The chipper just throwing wood back at me. So with this trailer load of wood chips, I know it's not a full trailer load, but I want to make sure that thing doesn't overflow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same route out, but I'm going to go down to the pigs. Or down near the pigs, I should say. Because what I can do with this is I don't have the Compost Master fueled at the moment. Is it worth doing the Compost Master with it? Well, I've got... I've got an idea. So I was going to do... See, now I need a third... Ah! Yeah, what you just saw there was one of the dev tools. I spotted it in the distance and I realized it was still on, then hit the brakes and showed everybody the problem that I had made. If you press F5 twice, like if you press F5 once you get this, which kills my frame rate. If you press it twice you get this view, which shows the light sources. It's particularly cool if you will say turn on a beacon and turn on the hazard lights. Because the beacons, because of the constantly updating light source, I'll actually turn off the hazards so to show you. Because the beacons are constantly updating light sources, it just causes a disco effect on top of the tractor that looks ridiculous. And the easiest way to sort that is just to turn off F5. This isn't where I wanted to go at all. I got distracted and went on to autopilot. What I wanted to do with this is I wanted to bring it down into the placeable yard, and actually real quick, is there like an even smaller one with a back to it? Come on game, be nice to me. No, I'll have to find some placeable sheds. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to store potatoes, wood chips and manure down here, because the wood chips are going to be something used in both placeable areas. Down in this one just to make direct money, and down in the I'll call it the pig placeable area just because it's down near the pigs, and the cow placeable area here to make money, and in the pig placeable area to run the compost master, which I can kind of use to make money or to fertilize fields to make money. So that's kind of a dual purpose one. I want to store potatoes down here, and that's why I put the wood chips in there, because it's closer to that. I want to put potatoes in here so that I can load them into this very easily with a skid, well, not a skid steer, a trailer. And I want to... Oh, that thing's letting off steam. Is it steaming the potatoes? Is that why it needs water, to steam the potatoes? Ooh, that's really nice. And I want to store manure down here so that I can dump it into the two greenhouses. Now, the problem lies in the fact that I don't have space for a second one of those sheds. Which comically are bigger than the big storage. Well, they're about the same size as the reasonably sized storage shed of the main yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Giant Mod Hub after this video, and I will look through that and see what I can find in terms of placeable sheds. Hopefully I'll be able to find one that's small enough, and I might even swap out the sheds that I currently have for placeables. Moving forwards. But that is all the time we have for today, guys. In Monday's video, we're going to be picking up some bales and dealing with that kind of stuff. And hopefully maybe selling them off, I think, is going to be a good idea. But until then, I'll leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Oakfield Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Do leave your comments below as well, guys. The comments, while they may sometimes be abusive, do help, believe it or not. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.